Highland Reds with all the trimmings. Paul is stalking stags in the rut and employing ecologically sound Scottish extraction techniques.
What distance do you guys walk on an average stalk?
Asking for a friend.
And bird flu is not just about the birds. Deborah Hadfield looks at the human cost of the new pandemic.
Your mental health is the most important thing in the world.
We're giving away £100 worth of airgun pellets thanks to airgun shop Crackshot. We are learning about ATN's Mars thermal riflescope. David is on the news stump with the good news. We have a Prime Minister who supports grouse shooting. James Marchington brings you hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain.
It's magical, romantic, just what you dream of a proper hill stalk in Scotland should be like. You know, we've got to keep that tradition really important.
Why is it hunters from all over the world are drawn to the Highlands of Scotland to stalk red stags? For some, it's a bucket list thing. For others, a yearly pilgrimage. For us today, we're going big. All in. Bells, whistles and ponies. And don't think for one second this is just for the tourists. The ponies are used daily, complete with a 100-year-old saddle. When we arrive at the stables, the farrier is at work.
So the garron, are they a bit touchy shoeing them, or are they okay?
Mostly they're okay.
Yeah.
As people, it's all individual, you
Yeah.
know, so you get good ones and bad ones. But that one I've just shot there, that one had a wee nibble on me last time.
Oh, right.
Great offence to
Yeah.
it, and bit me on
Oh
the
yeah.
chest.
God. That's a hazard of the job, is it?
I'm afraid so, yeah, I'm afraid so.
Callum Stewart will be guiding us today. To ensure we're on point, Callum asks Paul to put some rounds down range. For this trip he's using the newest incarnation of Zeiss's V8, a slimmer, lighter version of the 2014 original.
It's the new V8, which is a 30mm tube, and it fits everything. It's just a breeze to put on a rifle, which is perfect for me. But also it reduces weight. So anything to reduce weight on these longer distance hunts is, for me, that's the key. We heard a couple roaring yesterday. They started.
They're starting now. We've shot a few stags off of hinds. There's plenty of noise, so you should see.
Oh, right. Brilliant. That's exciting, then.
You should do anything like that.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah, it's brilliant job. And what sort of stag are you hoping to take? See what's about. Yeah.
As long as he's an old stag, it'd be a good stag to take.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent.
Lucy is Callum's apprentice. Then there's Andrew. He's a farmer and he works the season with Callum, bringing the ponies onto the hill to take the reds off it. This is a team effort.
So you get these and you train them to do the job?
Yeah, I start them quite early.
Yeah.
You know, I've got young foal there just now, who's 2. By kind of 3 to 4, you'll get a young stag on them, and then build them up from there, like that.
And this is like a traditional breed that you've had?
Highland garron, like that.
Yeah.
Highland garron.
Yeah.
For me, it's the best way a stag can come off the hill, like that.
Oh, it's romantic, isn't it? Not being funny, it's like, you know. This is just a normal horseshoe, is it, with extra studs on?
Just a normal riding horseshoe, yeah. And you can buy these, obviously ready tapped and threaded, or you can do it yourself. And you get a big box of these.
Yeah. Like studs in rugby boots, then, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No difference really.
Yeah.
You can get them just like this, mild steel, or you can have a tungsten cord one for horses on really rocky ground.
Oh right, yeah.
So they'll last a long time. And you literally just screw them in, simple as that.
So do the guys take a few spares with them, or they actually stay?
Yeah. Give them a handful, yeah. Though, to be honest, once you've had the big adjustable spanner on them, they don't tend to go
crank them up.
You know?
And do they take them off at night time or they keep them on all the time?
Keep them on, because they're all out on the grass.
Oh, okay.
So they're only in the stables when they're waiting on you gentlemen, I presume.
Yeah, brilliant job.
Not stood on hard ground.
So this is like forward drive then, it's like the forward drive.
Oh, very much so, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Turns them into 8-wheel drive.
Leaving the stables and the range behind, we end up looking across an impressive glen. What Callum sees or doesn't see now will dictate our day.
Go up that kind of burn, where that dark stag is.
Yeah.
Come in, start to climb out and come in round the top of that. That's what we'll...
Yeah.
we'll do and give it a try like that.
The faint roaring in the distance gives us an audible as well as a visual reference, and we need to start walking.
Dark stag, it was out here, he's actually got one hind with him.
Has he? As soon as you put these up, it's like looking through HD or 4D. It's the SFLs. They come in two types. They come in a 10x40 and an 8x40, and I chose the 10x40 just because when you're on the side of a hill or a mountain, looking across, that little bit more magnification really helps.
Here's on the left-hand side.
Now, for a pony to work on any estate, there needs to be tracks. They will cross open ground, but they have to have a network of stone tracks for most of the walking, and those are not cheap to create or maintain. For the time being, they're helpful for us too. The one problem we have today is wind. It's not strong and it's in every direction. It's pushing the reds higher to get the breeze. As they head up, so do we. It's tough going. There's fit, then there's hill fit. Callum puts in a serious amount of miles every season.
What distance do you guys walk on an average sort of like stalk?
Asking for a friend.
Just preparing myself here.
An average day could be anything from kind of 8 to 15 miles for me.
Really?
On average, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever calculated what you've walked in a season?
Yeah.
Yep, last year for the stags and the hinds, I done 1,888 miles. Miles for
Wow.
the season. Yeah. That's what the watch said anyway.
Where's that walking to then? Like France?
I don't know whether that be London and back and London and back and London and back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? No idea. But
Yeah, serious.
yeah, just shy of 2,000 miles for the season.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's quite a distance.
We keep pushing on. Callum skips ahead to Glass, giving us a chance to cool off, have a breather and chat to Lucy. She's taking everything in her stride, apart from the insect life.
What's your role here then? You're like an understalker or trainee stalker? Or?
Trainee stalker / ghillie.
Yeah, right,
so,
yeah.
Ghillie for Callum most days
Yeah.
that we're out, but I'm mainly as trainee.
Yeah. So what's your day to day at the moment then?
Stalking.
Stalking?
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Monday to Saturday for stalking just
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
For the next 3 weeks till the end of the season, and then we go into a full week of stalking with hinds as
Yeah.
well.
So what's the best thing and worst thing about living up here?
I'd say the best thing has got to be the scenery.
Yeah.
It is really
yeah,
beautiful.
it is beautiful,
up here.
yeah.
It's stunning up here, and I'd say probably the worst thing, probably the midges.
Midges?
I think
yeah,
the
yeah.
midges or the keds.
Why don't you like those more? Because they move
There's
more?
loads of them, and they
Right.
like crawl up you really funny. They like crawl up to your
Yes,
arms sideways.
like
and it's
sidewinders,
kind of,
yeah.
It kind of creeps me out
Yeah.
a wee bit. And then they just get lost in your hair. And
You find them like a few hours later.
Yeah, you find that especially after the larder. That's
They
horrible.
sense a warm body and they jump for you.
On it.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
It's horrible.
As the steps and the hours tick by, we finally reach the top of the glen. It's a welcome relief. Callum has brought us around just behind a group of reds with a suitable old stag.
Stags and hinds tucked up at the back here.
Yeah. How far?
400 to the back. We've got a group that's closer towards us, that stag that was with the hinds.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't see them, they're just tucked up in below us here. So we just have to go round and look down for all of them.
Okay.
That's just under 200 metres away.
Okay.
Okay, where they're lying, we're going to be in full view of them, so we're going to have to go nice and low,
Yeah.
very, very slowly. He's lying down just now, but he should be up quite quickly, like that.
Okay.
As soon as he stands up, point his broadside on, I'll tell you when to shoot, and then just put him in behind the shoulder.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
got him.
Thank you.
Well done.
Worked hard for him. Yes, we got the stag down. To be totally honest with you, I pulled it a little bit. I think it was the excitement, a little bit of wind, you know, a couple hundred metres, and you know, good strike, and the stag's on the deck. So yeah, great result, and very happy.
Hell of a day. Hell of a day.
Massive day, and a beautiful area as well. So thank you very much, Scotland, and thanks Callum and Lucy.
We may have put the work in to get here, but now is when it really starts.
You probably could get the horse right into here, but it'll take me an hour and a half.
Wow.
So we'd be just as quick to put a rope on him and pull him down for that second burn, and then down that hollow.
Yeah.
You'll aim for there. Paul's a big strapping lad, he's strong.
I did it, so I've got to do a bit of pulling, haven't I?
Callum, Lucy and Paul take it in turns to take this magnificent animal down the glen. As it travels over the grass, the true colour of its coat is revealed. All its rolling and wallowing has darkened its appearance.
Got some? Oh man.
Carry it.
Jack it over so she doesn't move when we're loading her. That's a theory. You plus
Who's turned the lights out?
Could we just roll that stag over once? Then bring it back just a wee bit. You can stay at that end.
Yep.
Lift the back legs. So Andrew will get the head.
Yep.
I'll get here, and it's 1, 2, 3. You lift the legs up and over the back end, and try and put them onto the saddle.
So the legs end up
Over.
there.
Yeah,
over.
and I'll slide the kind of back end onto here.
Okay. Where's it finished? That goes over the saddles, is
Yes.
it?
And Andrew will then push it over a wee bit, and we'll tie the head on and
Okay.
get it strapped into position.
Right.
This is so the legs won't hit our back end.
Yeah, so lift them up over the top.
Bumpy, aye.
Yeah.
Where are the antlers supposed to go then?
I'll tuck them in back on the sail just now. Like so.
Yep, okay, 1, 2, 3, go! Whoa, stand it, that's it. Great pop, thank you. That's it.
They make the mounting of the 15 stone plus stag look easy.
You holding?
No, okay.
Oh, good.
We're just stopping on the stag onto it.
Earlier, at the stables, we'd seen that, unlike riding saddles that are fitted to an individual horse or pony, these saddles flex, allowing all shapes and sizes to carry one. This isn't historical reenactment, this is 2022, when immersed in this landscape with no phone signal, no planes overhead. It could be 1922, and it does stir the soul.
Stand now. Stand.
Good girl.
Right, 1, 2, 3, stand now. Stand now.
Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl.
Just pull forward a wee bit.
Flick up her.
Good girl.
Good
Good girl.
Walk on.
Walk on. Go on out. 1, 2, 3, go.
Once at the truck, the team unloads the stag and our pony heads off to make her own way home. Yet another sight to remember. For more information about Paul's Zeiss V8 or the Zeiss binoculars, go to zeiss.co.uk. Thank you, Paul, Callum and all at the estate. And if you want to hear more about Paul's Zeiss V8 scope or the SFLs, then we have 2 new field tester films with him, chatting them through. Links in the description below. Now a word about the Fieldsports Nation, which supports our news service for $5 a month. Its own TV show, Fieldsports Extra, is out on Tuesdays and each week includes a prize draw giveaway. This week the prize is a test pack of airgun pellets for 5 lucky viewers. Ever wondered what's the best pellet for your airgun? Well, now you can find out, thanks to Devon Airgun Shop Crackshot. It's sending out 5 sample packs of pellets to our 5 winners. If you would like to see Crackshot's range of airgun pellets, might make an imaginative Christmas present for the air gunner in your life, there is a link below. If you want a win kit like that for what is a little more than £1 a ticket and support our work, righting media wrongs about shooting and other field sports, there's another link in the description below. Now another product that should be available in test packs. It's David on the Fieldsports channel, News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The UK's new Prime Minister is a grouse shooting supporter. Rishi Sunak is MP for Richmond in North Yorkshire, a rural constituency. He is a supporter of the Countryside Alliance Rural Awards and former president of the Moorcock Show. He wrote in the Alliance's membership magazine, My Countryside, in July, that he will continue to protect our countryside from those who don't understand the rural way of life. In short, my mission has always been to do things for rural communities, not to them. Among his first acts as PM was to appoint Trace Coffey as DEFRA Secretary, widely regarded as a friend of the countryside and field sports, who appeared on Charlie's Chat Show at the Game Fair Theatre in 2017. Shooting organisations are lining up to criticise the RSPB for launching a fresh attack on game bird releases. The anti-shooting bird group announced its change of policy at its AGM. It's calling for further regulation for shoots and better enforcement of existing rules, so they become what it calls more sustainable. It ignores research by the GWCT and Exeter University, which found the negative impacts from released birds are slight compared to the positives spread over a large area. The NGO says the RSPB's position only serves to show that the organisation is more interested in pursuing their campaign against game shooting than in conserving and improving the prospect of the UK's bird life.
It's very disappointing, and I think it puts the RSPB in a very difficult position with land managers who will look at how they're behaving, and they need land managers to choose to engage with them if they're to do their job as a conservation organisation.
Lack of clarity around the Hunting with Dogs Act in Scotland makes the new law a leap into the unknown. That's the concern voiced by the Countryside Alliance as the SNP and its Green Party coalition partners push through legislation that will have implications for farmers, livestock and biodiversity without predicting its impact. Scotland's regional moorland groups released this film to criticise the bill's approach to gun dogs. The Countryside Alliance says the bill is more about politics than welfare. It accepts that the use of more than 2 dogs to flush quarry will be licensed. It asks that the licensing system be based on need, not preconceptions. Vet Louisa Cheap also criticises the bill. She fears it doesn't consider the welfare of the animals involved.
The major problem is that the Scottish Government have made no comparative assessment of the various legal control methods in terms of how they affect the welfare of individual animals, but also how they affect those populations as a whole. It's extremely likely that the welfare of wild animals will be negatively affected by the legislation.
Antis are trying to spread claims that hunts are causing havoc in the UK countryside. A county-by-county report by the League Against Cruel Sports sent to regional media lists 310 examples of antisocial behaviour from fox and deer hunts since 2018. The Countryside Alliance says the incidents are based on the League's allegations to the police or a court that were found to be false. Despite that, some local newspapers reported the League's press release verbatim. A trial by an English hospital trust offering locally sourced venison to its patients is being expanded. The East Lancashire Hospital Trust has been serving venison culled by Forestry England in the Forest of Bowland and Grisdale for a year. Patients benefit from lean, healthy meat, high in protein, zinc and iron. Up to 20 other areas are expected to follow suit. Antis have attacked the plan. Peter says animal flesh should be dumped in favour of vegetables, pulses and tofu. Patients disagree. More than a third of meal choices in the hospital trial last December were venison dishes. British Shooting has held its first #TargetChange Come Try It days. The events aim to make the sport more accessible to a wider audience. It held 3 days of activities at Colton Hills Community School in Wolverhampton. Youngsters enjoyed food, music, rifle shooting, target sprint and other fun games. English shooting champion Ruth Mwandumba is the ambassador for the initiative, which encourages more people to get involved in the sport. Ruth is a 2 times English 10-metre air rifle champion. Landowners say the Scottish Government's new report on muirburn is inconclusive. The government wants to stop muirburn because it mistakenly believes that it harms underlying peat. The Nature Scot report concludes that muirburn reduces fuel load, which minimises the risk of wildfires getting out of control. Estate owners say the new study has too many gaps in the research to evaluate the impact of muirburn on habitats and wildlife. The Scottish Government says it will use the research to explore if licences are required for muirburn, likely to be in the Wildlife Management Grouse Bill, due out for consultations shortly. Currently, muirburn takes place between the beginning of October and the middle of April.
I think our strongest recommendation for the government would be to ensure that the regulatory framework is flexible. Training clearly needs to play a key role in the future, and we're pleased that the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service and the Scottish Gamekeepers Association have developed training modules. But flexibility, I think, really needs to be the order of the day when it comes to actually regulating muirburn in the future.
Children at a Norwegian kindergarten have been on a school trip to a driven hunt, and they invited local media. During the hunt in Halsa, central Norway, the children sat with nursery staff while the hunters scouted for a deer a little further away. With the help of a hunting radio, they could keep the tension up and update the children. They heard the 2 shots that brought down 2 deer, then went to see the animals and asked questions about them and the hunt. The kindergarten visit is in its 6th year. Thanks to Per Helmseth for the story. There's a new hunting app. Launched by Belgian hunter Frederick Use, HNTR aims to help shooters organise their days, manage their shooting calendars, and it provides an online game book. It promises to be a mobile hunting companion when you can log your stories and capture every hunting experience from start to finish. Visit hntr.world. A study has revealed that our Ice Age ancestors were apex predators and meat eaters. For around 2 million years, Homo sapiens and its ancestors ditched the salads and dined heavily on meat, putting them at the top of the food chain, according to a report by anthropologists from Israel's Tel Aviv University and the University of Minho in Portugal. Modern hunter-gatherers have given us the wrong impression of what we once ate. It's not the balanced diet of berries, grains and steak that the media presents as paleo food. The scientists revealed that we were primarily apex predators until 12,000 years ago. An Australian working dog has set a new record. The Kelpie called Eve sold at auction for 49,000 Australian dollars, more than £27,000, beating the previous $32,500. The breeder of the classic black and tan working dog from a stud in New South Wales reckoned Eve would make $30,000. He explains the high price on farm labour shortages, so farmers need dogs to do more. And finally, the city of Oslo plans to erect a statue in honour of the walrus it shot. The Fisheries Ministry put down Freya the walrus earlier this year because they feared the 600-kilogram animal might harm sightseers. Freya damaged several boats while sunbathing in Oslo marinas, and on one occasion, police had to close off a bathing area as the walrus chased a woman into the water. The statue will stand on King Marina in the city. Thanks once again to Per. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Buying shooting kits? Then head to Kit Finder and our team will help you find the right product at a fair price from dealers all over the UK. Kit Finder, the shooting kit comparison website.
Thank you, David. Now, stumped for what to buy your loved ones for Christmas and maybe airgun pellets don't cut it? Well, how about a ticket to the British Shooting Show, held on the 17th to the 19th of February 2023, and this year, drum roll please. Thank you. Parking is included in the ticket price. Head to shootings.co.uk/tickets. Now we are back on bird flu. This time not what it's doing to birds or shoots, but what it's doing to people. Deborah Hadfield investigates.
Kevin and Val Russell run Hawkstone Falconry in Yorkshire. Businesses such as Hawkstone Falconry are struggling as the bird flu crisis outbreak follows 2 years of COVID. For Val, the issue is made worse as her work was a lifeline after she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Working with the birds boosted her mental health.
Oh, it's my life, it's everything. It's something I do every day. It got me over breast cancer. It was a reason to stay alive for my birds, to keep going for my birds, for me to focus, because after having surgery, having a mastectomy on the right hand side, a lot of people are not able to actually lift their arms up after they've had it done. So my goal was that I would be able to raise my arm above my head so that I could actually put my hand up to feed the birds.
More importantly for me, it's to keep Val going. It's just, it works. It works for us. I worked throughout COVID. I restore cars every day. But coming home at weekends and knowing that Val's been kept going is enough for me. It's a disaster. It's not good at all. We can't get out. We can't do anything with the birds. The hunting's down completely. We just don't want to put them at risk. Full stop. That's it. It's just we've got to do it, you know.
The stress of dealing with the bird flu crisis is taking its toll on people in the field sports community. The National Gamekeepers Organisation is encouraging people to get help.
People have a tendency, and certainly gamekeepers who are quite a sturdy, robust, stoic bunch, they do tend to bottle things up and think they can manage it themselves and get themselves out of it, and they're just going through a bit of a rough patch, which they probably are or could be, but sometimes you do need a bit of help to get through that and a bit of support. So it's just to highlight that mental health awareness and to give that help and support for people. We've got to make sure that our members are aware of their mental health situation and they're looking after each other. You know, we've been through 2 years of COVID, and now with avian influenza on the top of that, you know, estates, bosses and gamekeepers are under a lot of pressure.
One fear gamekeepers have is if they admit they have mental health issues to their GP, they risk the police taking their guns.
Your mental health is the most important thing in the world. You know, that's what you've got to look after. So you've got to be responsible, and you've got to be, you know, if you've got to the stage where you need help, you've got to get help. There's not, you know, that's the main thing, is you've got to get yourself help. It's like being ill. There comes a point where, you know, just sitting and taking paracetamol, if you've got something serious, you might need something more than that, so you've got to go and get help for that. So why wouldn't you with your mental health as well? The thing to do is to be sensible about it, and if you are going to do that and you are struggling, lodge your guns with a friend, put them in their cabinet, ask them to look after them until you can get yourself through it. By doing that, you've shown that you are being sensible. You've acknowledged you've got a problem or you've had a problem, and you know, you should be okay after that.
For more information about bird flu and, if you need it, where to get help, see the links below.
Thanks to all who took part in that. Now, is it time to upgrade to a thermal riflescope? Craig Miles of ATN Europe says yes.
Thermal has many advantages over the traditional, the night vision optics that we do. It allows you to shoot in almost any weather conditions, so whether that be torrential rain or fog, the thermal will give you the ability to see through that. It's also got a higher detection, so our top-end thermal riflescope will detect heat up to 3,500 meters. So if you were out in, say, in any wooded area or any condition where the terrain, they might be able to hide behind the grass, the thermal will pick straight through these conditions and you'll be able to detect the heat source. The magnification you get on the thermal range, we start from 1.25 and you can even go up to 40 times magnification, which is far greater than the night vision. The thermal is more expensive, although they've come down in price a lot more now. so they are more competitive, but it just allows you to see more clarity on the animal in different situations. Depending what area or environment you're in, the thermal will allow you to detect the heat of the animal, but also it can help you identify whether it would be male, female, the size of the animal. It can just give you a clearer indication regardless of any weather condition, which in the UK, although it's quite nice right now, in the winter you can get the 4 seasons in one day. The difference of sometimes changing between the thermal spotter to the scope, the animal can then move quite quickly. So as long as you have it all in one scope, this will allow you to zoom in and see the animal as well, so that you're not losing the target, and then you can take the shot. It's definitely the main point of the thermal scopes as well, is target acquisition. So rather than wave your rifle around on a night vision scope looking for a target, because these have a lower base mag, you get a better field of view, allowing you to just wait for the heat to pop up in the view you're looking at, and then you can zoom into that and take the shot. So you've still got your photo and video capability, and you have still got that all-important ballistic calculator in here. So an ABR can attach to the front of the scope, and you can use the ballistic calculator if you want. You've still got the battery life of at least 16 hours. You've still got the 90mm eye relief, so you've got all the features, but you've got that extra thermal element that just allows you to shoot regardless of the conditions. So the best part is the entry level of this product range comes in at less than £1,000. So it means you get all the features in this and a thermal rifle scope for less than £1,000. So with the Mars LT, we still have some features that we've kept in the scope. There's the ability to change color palettes. You have the ability to zoom in and out. And you also still have your inbuilt battery, which will again give you at least 12 hours battery life when you're out in the field. There is no capability for photo or video and no ballistic calculator. And because that sets us apart from the Mars 4, it allows us to offer the competitive price with these. And again, these are all manufactured in the UK. So all our thermal scopes, serviced, QC'd, all manufactured in the UK.
Thanks, Craig. Next, from thermal kit to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, James Marchington brings you Hunting YouTube.
This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Is it possible to kill a goose humanely with a sub-12 foot-pound air rifle? Corvid Hunter gets all scientific and sets out to find the answer. Tackling a rather bigger quarry, the Hunter's Quest channel is on the Kwando River in Namibia after a massive man-eating crocodile that's evaded the hunters for more than a decade. With the rising cost of living, Pheasants Forever sets out to see how cheaply they can go on an out-of-state pheasant shooting road trip to South Dakota. Back in the UK, here's some even cheaper sport. Jay Gumble and Sons are having a great time out bushing rabbits with their working terriers. Next up, Alex Sayer has put together this roundup from last month's British Open 410 Championships at the West Midlands Shooting Ground. It's impressive to see how the small bore guns can perform in the right hands. Over to Australia, and Outback Feral Animal Control is ploughing in some old grassland when he comes across this, the feral pig's nest made by the sow to protect her litter of piglets. Here's the latest offering from East Cape Bushveld Hunting, a beautifully made film of a successful hunt for an elusive bushbuck. And finally, Sydney and Alex from Barstool Outdoors practice their archery, then go after squirrels in the woods with a 2.2 rimfire. The hunting is good, but the best bit is the banter between the two as they film each other. That's it for this week. We've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the eye symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you'd like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email Charlie the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv.
And that's it for this week. If you haven't done so, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click the like us there on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page and we'll contact you about the show. Fieldsports Britain, it's at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.